Hello, and welcome back. I've brought you in now because I'm jumping over to my next dish. You can see I'm using the same wok because it's gathering all of the flavors of things that are getting fried in it, and I don't want to lose that flavor that's building in the wok, so this is what I'm going to use. I am going to make a tofu with vegetables in a garlic sauce. So for this, what I've actually done is I have pre-sauteed some bell peppers that I had cut, and I've sauteed them with these Szechuan peppers and some basil. You can see I've tried to add some aromatics to every single vegetable saute that I've done. This is some broccoli that I've done a quick saute of, and you can see it's got some color here and there, but don't overcook it because then it tends to become a very dull green and it looks very unappetizing. Okay, so this is right off the broccoli bunch, and you can see some are small, some are big. That's okay. I'm not going for a Michelin star application, so I'm quite okay with that. And I have some mushrooms. This is a box of 1 button mushrooms, and I've just sauteed them. I've cut it into quarters. I've sauteed it without adding any salt. The only thing I added was a little bit of soy sauce, and so you see this dark color, which is really nice. They also have a good char. Hey Rachel, welcome back. So let's quickly jump into how we're going to make the actual tofu in garlic sauce. This is a combination that I have, which has soy sauce, tomato ketchup, yes, believe it or not, tomato ketchup, soy sauce, sesame oil, and red chili sauce, because it's supposed to be a spicy kind of a sauce. And I've added 3 to 4 cups of water. I've also created a slurry with cornstarch and cold water because that's the thing that's going to help us to thicken our sauce. Okay. Hello, Shadiq Khan. Welcome to Queen's Curry Kitchen. I think this is your first time. Don't let it be your last. Please share and like this video so that your friends can also watch and learn. Okay, the tofu that I'm using in this dish today is the silken tofu. I'm not using the firm tofu, even though if you like that texture better, you certainly can. It holds up really well in all of the sauce-based dishes. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that goes into any Chinese dish to make the base is the trinity of ginger, garlic, and red chilies. So that needs to go in abundance, and this is in garlic sauce, so of course I'm gonna turn up the flame, and I'm gonna bring in my peppers from here. So give it a good fried out really nicely. Another aromatic that I've added when I fried my bell peppers was 2 pieces of star anise, and this is what gives your Chinese dishes a really nice depth of flavor. I'm gonna pick it out and add it back to this pot, to this wok, just so that it can still work its magic with the hot oil. Okay, I'm gonna continue to saute this. One trick that I want to tell you about tofu: if it's a silken tofu, don't try to take it out of the box and cut it. Cut it while it's still in the box. It's just easier to handle, and you'll get uniform squares. Mine are not that uniform, but at least it's easier to handle, and it's not running away, running all over the place. Okay, so if you're working with silken tofu or soft tofu, follow that tip. Okay, I'm gonna keep scraping the bottom of the pan to gather up all of the flavors. These onions were cut into petals, and then I singled them out. You can see all of these vegetables have a little bit of a char to them. They have a little color, and that only comes when you let them sit in the pan without disturbing them too much, right? So it is easy to eat plant-based food. It is easy to eat flavorful dishes from so many different cuisines. Everything does not have to involve cruelty to an animal. So if you are a pescatarian or if you are a flexitarian, you can certainly adapt this recipe. But trust me, it's so delicious, you won't even miss that you don't have any meat on your table, right? Okay, so this has gone in. The next thing that I'm going to put in are my onions. And then I will go ahead and add this whole thing. This is actually the sauce which is going to thicken up. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Add this to your pan. So this not only helps to deglaze everything, but also this is the base of the sauce. So you can see it's got a nice dark brown color. So ketchup, soy sauce, vinegar and red chili sauce and a little bit of sesame oil have gone in. We are going to wait for this to boil. Hello, Nalini. Hi. Oh, it's. I thought it was my other friend Nalini. Hi, Nalini. How are you? Yes, it is indeed yummy. We just finished making. For those of you who are just joining in, we just finished making the mock chicken Thai basil stir fry with cashews and Szechuan pepper. So this is what it looks like. I did it on the live, and if you missed it, you can always jump back into the Facebook page and catch what you missed. Okay, so this is happening. We are going to allow this to simmer. At this time, we're going to go ahead and season this. It doesn't need too much salt because I already added salt from the soy sauce. It's really, really salty, so that goes in. I use Himalayan pink salt even in my Chinese dishes, and that totally works like a charm. I'm going to add some coriander seed powder only because we are Indian. I'm going to go ahead and add some red chili powder. Come on over, baby. Come on over. Anybody that's getting hungry, get on the flight to New York and just come over. So the good thing with this is you can make it as spicy or as sweet or as sour as you want it. I like to keep it well balanced because I feel like if heat is the first thing that hits my taste buds, and I don't really enjoy the food. But again, it's not my party, so I have to really cook it like they want to eat it, and I will not let my personal preference interfere in that. I am going to probably go ahead and add some more water because I think like I'm gonna need a little more sauce. Whoops, sorry, trying to do this with one hand. You're literally in my kitchen, like you're in my kitchen sink. Whoa. I don't think my mom has ever even been in my kitchen sink, but you guys are here. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little more water. Oh, sorry, thank you. Thank you for the compliment, Ali. That's really sweet of you. Okay, now to this, I'm going to go ahead and add the Chinese 5-spice powder right here. Okay, this is really the flavor that you need, the depth of all the whole spices that you need. Also, if you have black pepper, white pepper, whatever you want to put, you should put at this stage. This is going to take a while to boil up. And as soon as it boils, I'm going to add all the vegetables and really quickly add this cornstarch slurry, okay? I'm going to do that. I also have cilantro, which I have to chop, but clearly I cannot do it with one hand. So it's going to be a little bit of a slow process. If you have any other vegetables other than the ones that I've used in my kitchen, feel free to go ahead and use those. There is really no right and wrong. See how many peppers I'm using in this thing. Like, just look at it. Whoa. People be loving all the heat in their food, man. Ugh. I would die if I had to eat that much heat. But it's not for me to say, right? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I might as well get the hot and sour soup started while I'm here and while I have your attention. I think I should do that because that's one thing that then you'll learn while waiting for this sauce to bubble up. Okay, so I have my clay pot. Yeah, pepper. Go, Nalini. I'm gonna start with some plain old water. I don't use any MSG in my Asian food. I mean, if you love the taste of it, you certainly can. I also don't use any cubes or chicken powder or whatever because this is a vegetarian menu. So I won't be using any chicken bouillon or chicken powder. Just plain old water to make your soup base, which is kind of going to be the base of your broth. I have to make a hot and sour soup, which means that it's going to have some heat, it's going to have vinegar, it's going to have vegetables in it, and no egg. Okay, so how I'm going to get started is I will turn this on. And this is the base for my soup that I'm making, so I will add lots of ginger. I will add lots of garlic. And this base you can also use, let's say if you're making, dumplings, if you're using store-bought dumplings and making soup, you can also start that out like this with absolutely no problem. Okay, and I'm going to add this one broccoli stem and some bell peppers for flavor. I'm also going to take these peppers that I've saved from when I was chopping. so that I can put that in my broth. And I will add a shit ton, like I'm not kidding, like a shit ton of cilantro stems into this. I also have to add onions, but for that I'm gonna have to use 2 hands, which I can't do right now. Okay, so I will allow this to boil and simmer. Basically that's what is going to give it the flavor. Okay, I will add some salt, and I'm gonna add some soy sauce. Salt is gonna go in. 5 spice powder is gonna go in, and sesame oil is gonna go in. Soy sauce is gonna go in. I will be adding miso paste and cilantro stems, but not now. First I have to just let it boil, then I will strain this mixture and take out all the veggies. Then I will add finely chopped fresh vegetables, and then simmer the broth, and then thicken it up into a soup. Okay, so it's a multi-step process. Gonna give it a gentle stir, and I'm gonna allow this to come to a boil. I do have to add cilantro. So as soon as I get off this live, I'm going to do that. All right. So the good news is that this thing is now bubbling, which is great, which means that we can actually go ahead and add all our vegetables. If you don't have vegetables and you only have tofu, you can make this tofu and garlic sauce with just that. And if you don't want to use ketchup, you can use V8 tomato juice and Szechuan peppers and tons of garlic to create your sauce. Okay. So I gave you all the shortcuts. I'm going to add in the broccoli. Add in, let me show you this. You see this liquid from the mushrooms? This is the umami that you need. Umami is like a innate saltiness, right? So add this back to your soup broth. Like, this liquid is gold. I mean, it has such great flavor. And add a couple of mushrooms in there just for good measure, and then cover it back up. Okay, so these are going to go in. I'm cooking for about 12 people, so that's my portion size. I may have to do this one more time. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Okay, this is what it looks like right now. It's just you can see it's very watery. It does not look anything like soup. I'm just going to turn this down just a little bit because it's heating up my phone, and then it's going to shut down. Hey Ritu, how are you? Welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. We are making tofu with vegetables in garlic sauce. Oh, it's super salty. It tastes incredible. I'm also going to add a little bit, like just a little bit of sugar. Even though I don't like to put sugar in anything. When I do my Indo-Chinese, I definitely like to add a little bit of sugar. No shame in my game. Okay, and I think it could use a little squirt of tomato ketchup. Now, if you want to cook Indian style Chinese, you can always take a class with me. I teach you all the tips and tricks. And in the live videos, even though I'm eyeballing everything, when you take a class, you will get written recipes and everything is very precise. So I don't know if you took that Zoom class that I offered some time ago where we were doing the Indo-Thai class, where we made the fried rice and we made the rice paper rolls. So honey, from time to time, when I have the Zoom class and I put out an announcement, do not miss out. That's your chance to learn some really, really new things. Drop me in the comments below, what is your favorite Indo-Chinese dish to eat? I would love to know what it is that you guys like to eat from the Indo-Chinese repertoire. I would love to hear that. See, I have all my cilantro, which I have to chop up because without that, there's no Indo without any kind of cilantro happening. Okay, so I'm going to allow this sauce to simmer. And one good thing is that when you have silken tofu or soft tofu, you don't even have to cook it that long. Once you turn off the stove, you can actually just add it to your broth or your hot pot or your soup, and it's just absolutely incredible. I am going to take out a few pieces of it because I'm going to use it for my hot and sour soup. Okay, so this much I'm going to use in my soup, and these I'm going to dunk into this. So the next step that we're going to do is, once it starts to bubble and boil nicely, we will add the slurry. This is nothing but cornstarch, like 2 to 3 heaped tablespoons of cornstarch in about 1.5 cups of water. Make sure the water is cold so that there are no lumps. And every time you want to use your cornstarch, give it a stir because it tends to settle at the bottom. This is the same construct that we will use to thicken our hot and sour soup. Okay, so we're going to let this simmer. I have to get a better ladle just so that I can... Oh my God, it smells incredible, you people. All right, so what is your favorite Chinese dish? What is your favorite Indo-Chinese dish, if at all? If you've ever eaten Indo-Chinese, like it's an entire genre of its own. Can anybody tell me what you like? Okay, we're going to allow this to simmer. It's incredibly quiet in here. I don't see any hearts. I don't see any thumbs up. Have you fallen asleep without even eating this food? Talk to me, you guys. Okay, so this is a clay pot. It takes a while to heat up, but once it heats up, then it really happens very quickly. This is the kind of clay pot that they use for Chinese cooking, for Korean hot pots, and also for their dishes. Okay, now this is simmering. I think my flame is a little uneven because I can see the bubbling here, but I don't see the bubbling anywhere else. So I'm just going to stir the sauce. At this point, it's just a broth. There is nothing saucy about it. And you can see all the mushrooms and all the vegetables are just well combined. And once it comes to a rolling boil, that's when we're going to add the slurry. Okay, at this time, all the flavors are balanced. Even though you follow a written recipe, make sure you check your... thank you, Nalini. Make sure you check your taste from time to time. You know, take a tasting spoon, put it to your lips and see... Especially if it's Chinese food, it should be very well balanced in sweet, sour, salty, tangy, pungent. You see, now it's coming to a boil everywhere, like right towards the middle, it's starting to boil. The liquid is nice and hot. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds, but let me just quickly show you what all I bought just for this stuff. So there is star anise, there is condensed milk for the Thai iced tea, there is a tom yum paste, there is vinegar. I have a sweet chili sauce. I also bought brown sugar, limes, cabbage, basil, peanuts, onions, carrots, green papaya for the salad that I'm going to make, baby corn for another dish that I'm going to make, coconut milk, red pepper, green pepper, mushrooms, and a little marinade, and more soy sauce, and some iced tea. Yeah, baby. And I bought some shrimp. Okay, so that's all the shopping that I did. And of course, whatever you see here, which is like a shit ton of stuff. Okay, so now, coming back to Nupur, don't digress. Okay. Coming back to our recipe, this is our slurry. You will see, as soon as it goes in, the texture of this thing is going to change, right? So add it, wherever there is the most simmering liquid, just add it, spread it around. It's going to bring down the temperature of your pan, but as soon as the temperature picks back up, you will see that it's going to start to thicken. See, like it's already, so you just let it bubble and you let it thicken. That's right. And you don't want to get in there too much because you don't want to break the vegetables. That's the good thing, that when you stir fry them and take it out, then it doesn't fall apart. You see how it's thickening up like a sauce? You see this? That's what we're going for, honey. Yeah, I love this camera. Oh my God. Nupur, you're good. I know, right? See this, check it out. You know, when you go to the hot pot places and they have this yummy thing that's simmering and it just makes your mouth water. This is pretty much one of those things, right? So also remember that when you remove it from the flame, it should be a little bit thinner in consistency than you want your final product to be, because as it sits, it thickens up more. Okay, Chinese restaurants put so much sugar in it that it almost becomes like a syrup. So we're not going for a syrup here. We're just going for a very nice thick consistency. And you want it to leave a little bit thin so that when you add your tofu, it's going to whoop, like suck up all of the liquid and all the flavors from here. So this is it. Now, just before I turn off the flame, I'm going to add cilantro, for which I need my other hand, which I don't have right now. But one thing, when you make a garlic sauce dish, always add fresh garlic all the way in the end. This is a little too much. All the way in the end, stir it in and turn off the flame. And then a little bit of ginger. That's it. And you turn it off. You don't have to do anything else. This is done. I made it right in front of you. And I kid you not, this place right now smells freaking incredible. If you like it more hot, You can always add, what are those peppers? Nalini, what are those peppers that we get in Guyana? You know, the really spicy ones? You can add habaneros, you can add like pimentos, whatever peppers you like according to your taste, you can add that. Now is the time to add the tofu. I'm just going to add a couple of them just to show you that you don't really need to overcook this. But actually, I will be adding it to the serving dish when I plate this, okay? So you see how it just gets lost in there? That's pretty much what you want to do. You want to give it a nice blanket of this sauce. It's incredible. I cannot even explain to you how aromatic it smells right now. Imagine when I put the cilantro and everything, how good it's going to be. Also, some people like to not add broccoli at all because see how it is not so fresh, bright green anymore. But I like to add it only because I feel like when it boils into the liquid, it gets a nice flavor. So this is how you do it. I'm going to go ahead and add some cilantro once I get off the live, and I'm going to add some black pepper, and that's going to be it. To finish this dish, I will add some sesame oil. Just good old regular store-bought sesame oil, very easily available everywhere. And just give it a good stir, and that's about it. So all the aromatics that have gone in are ginger, garlic, star anise, Chinese 5-spice powder, and sesame oil. These are all your aromatics. If you like a smoky flavor, you can always add a squirt of barbecue sauce. Yes, good old barbecue sauce from the supermarket will do it. But this is it. So I hope you like this recipe, and I hope you'll give it a try. I hope you will try to make it at home. It's just super simple. Saute everything. Just make a liquid of all of your sauces, and then thicken it out, and that's about it. All right, so I am Chef Nupur. I am signing off now. Join me in another recipe. I will try to do another recipe if I can before I actually head out. But I can't promise it. If you don't see it here, it'll certainly be on the YouTube channel, so be on the lookout. Anything that you miss, you can either catch it on the replay or head over to my YouTube channel, which is also queenscurrykitchen.com. If you want to take a class, all of the information is on our website, queenscurrykitchen.com. There is a class for every single level of skill, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And if you'd like to download a free chana masala recipe, head over to the website again, scroll all the way down, and you will see a link for a chana masala recipe. So this is our hot and sour soup base, which is now boiling and bubbling, as you can see. And you'll see how dark, it's nice and dark. Once the flavors of all these vegetables have been incorporated into the broth, that's when I'm going to strain it. And then I'm going to finish it by giving it a slurry and adding finely chopped vegetables so that it's going to be nice and flavorful. We won't be adding any egg, but we will be adding some baby corn. We will be adding some fresh mushrooms, etc. We will add tons of cilantro and some miso paste. So that's how this is going to happen. Like always, be blissful, be flavorful. Be safe out there. If you're traveling, take good care of yourselves. Wash your hands. And take your vitamin C every day. Take your vitamin C, and I will see you real soon. Until then, have a blessed day. And keep cooking healthy, delicious, plant-based foods in your home. Bye now.